Any changes you can share?
No, nothing. We've got some, we'll see at game time, but the group we've got, so it'll be some version of that.
I know yesterday you said status quo on Mira Heiskanen, but we did see him out on the ice.
Yeah, that's a development, yeah.
So can you give a little bit of what does it might mean or portend?
Well, it's another step. He's being reintegrated with our group. Now it's at a morning skate, so there's no contact or that. That would probably be the next step, that he's in a full practice with us with contact. But definitely a step in the right direction from where he's been the last, 2 months, 2.5 months.
What kind of impact would that have for your group to be able to get him back in the series?
Well, I think we all know. I don't even want to go there in my head. It's not tonight. So, my focus is on the group we've got tonight to beat Colorado. If he becomes available to play, we obviously know the impact he has on our game and our team, but that's not, even on my radar right now.
Would you say he's day-to-day now, since he's on the ice?
Yeah, we can call him that, yeah. We can call him that.
Excited to be here, Pete?
Yeah, I mean, this is what we play for. This is the best time of year, and I feel like I've played Colorado every year in the playoffs for the last, at least the last half decade of my coaching career. So between San Jose, Vegas, and here, I don't even know how many times, but it feels like every year. So familiar opponent, exciting time of year. It's funny, but the season goes really slow, until you get to this point, and then, you realize how quickly it went, and, you're thankful to be in this position, because, we told our players, I think there's 16 teams, 350 guys that are sitting at home that would love to be playing this time of year.
Well, how much easier could it make your life to win game one? Not just for the series, but for trying to go deep, right? Is there a cumulative effect, like the stress, the wear and tear, playing from behind?
Sure. I mean, absolutely, but we've also shown that, it hasn't slowed us down in the past. So, if you're trying to get me to say that game one's a must-win for us, it's not, and it's shown it hasn't. Obviously, you always want to make your path easier, and winning game one makes your path easier, but our group has a real resiliency to them that I don't think, and they haven't always traveled the easiest path, but while we haven't had ultimate success, we've had a lot of success around here.
Tyler Seguin obviously got a game, but now ramps up intensity a lot. What do you expect to see from him tonight?
Well, obviously with Robo going down, that's a big add for us, and he's been out a while. But if anyone behind the scenes saw the work that he put in, I think he got back in record-setting time. I think this surgeon who did this surgery, I don't believe has had someone come back, as quickly as he's come back from it. And he's done a lot of pro athletes, so it just shows you how hard Tyler worked to give himself the chance to be back, and thankfully he did, because with Robo down, if we don't have him available, then that's an awfully big hole.
For all of Colorado's experience, their goalies never played in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. In your experience, does that matter? Is that a thing you can exploit?
Ever heard of Ken Dryden? I don't know. I don't know if playoff experience is overrated, underrated. I think you drop the puck and play, and every year you see guys with no experience make an impact. Experienced guys that had great regular seasons fade and shrivel. So I don't have an answer for that. I know we got to drop the puck, and the players will decide who moves on here.
From watching your media availabilities the last couple of weeks from afar, I can see some level of annoyance. Like you're trying to play the string out, stay healthy. The worst thing happens in the last game.
Yeah.
But and the team didn't play great. I mean, how do you?
Yeah.
But there was nothing to play for. So how do you chalk some of that up to let's get going?
Yeah. Well, exactly like that, Pierre. I mean, what I think when we got locked in, probably, you know, just before or just after that Winnipeg game with about 2 weeks left in the season, 7 or 8 games left in the season, we knew we were locked in. We weren't moving up or down. You know, I think we made a conscious decision to try and do the smart thing, which was, you know, give some key guys some rest, which we did with a couple of our defensemen who we had overplayed with Miro being out, and we did that. You know, you'd like to do that and win your games and play great too, you know, but there's give and take when you make those decisions, and I don't regret those decisions, and the Robertson injury probably even reinforced to me more why we made those decisions to rest those guys, because if one of those defensemen had gotten hurt, you know, we would have been in big trouble. So you know, I don't read a lot into it. I think our group understands that we've got to flip the switch here, and I think we're ready to do that.
Last year against Colorado, you were able to hold them to 1 goal in 3 of the games. Can you use that as a blueprint, or how much I can use the blueprint for this
Yeah.
year?
I don't know, two totally different teams. I think this Colorado team here is totally different than last year's team we played in the playoffs. Nikushkin wasn't in, they didn't have Coyle, they didn't have Nekash, you know, their goaltending was different, so, you know, I don't think you carry much over from last year's playoffs. Both new teams, both have had different seasons, and, you know, these two teams get to write their own chapter.
When you sit down with your coaching staff, does this year feel a little bit, prepping for this year's playoffs, does it have a little bit of a unique feel to it compared to the last 2 years?
Why?
You've had 3 really successful regular
Right.
seasons in terms of overall standings. Does this year, just given how the season finished and some of the different mix of players, does it have a different feel to it?
Not really. I think we kind of pride ourselves on consistency and consistency of messaging and consistency of preparation, and you know, I think the players appreciate that regardless of what group we're working with, you know, 2 years ago, last year, this year. So, you know, I think the guys that have been here through all 3 runs, I think, you know, want the same thing that we've done in the past.
From Colorado's side, there's obviously been a lot of focus on Gabriel Landeskog, a lot of
Yeah.
talk about him kind of providing an emotional spark. In your experience as a coach, is that a real thing that can happen? Just what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's Jared Bednar question. That's not, you know, that's him and his players. You know, if you want to ask me about, you know, will Miro Heiskanen give us a spark? Absolutely.
When?
Yeah, good question.
Coach, Jake Oettinger, obviously, year after year, is very excelling in the playoffs. Can you just talk about his skill set and what you
Yeah.
expect from him in this series?
Yeah, Jake has an ability to raise his level this time of year. He's showing that. You know, and he's got to have to do that again for us. You know, and that's what elite goalies have to do this time of year. So, you know, the thing I've always admired about Jake is as the games have gotten more important in the series, the deeper into the series it goes, the more his game rises. So, you know, hopefully he comes out of the gate, you know, at the really high level we expect him to, but I also know he has that in his bag that, you know, as the temperature goes up and the series goes deeper, he gets better.
Great, Coach. Thanks, Pete.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pete. We'll do the right.
What's the Chipotle order today?
Is this being filmed? I don't eat Chipotle on game days.
I can cut it.
No Chipotle today. Maybe tomorrow.
Wyatt, are you in playoff mode?
Yeah, I mean, it's playoffs now, so yeah, it's time to go, and yeah.
What have you learned? I mean, you're kind of a little bit of a veteran now. You've been through this, you know, so many times, 6 series. So do you look at things differently?
Yeah, I think definitely have a better understanding of, you know, the league league, the playoffs. Obviously, Colorado, especially having played them last year. Yeah, I mean, I think at the same time, every year is always different. You know, we're a different team, they're a different team. Each year is different. So can definitely feel like I feel a lot more comfortable in having had that experience the last 2 years. But it's also different at the same time. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just hockey. Yeah.
You have excelled in times like this. Is there anything you see when you look back, or is it, again, it was just hockey and sometimes the puck just, you make a play?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it is hockey, and for me, it's doing whatever I can to help the team win. And so, yeah, I mean, it just, it's the same mindset really as regular season to some extent, whereas, for me personally, I'm doing whatever I can to help the team, and as is the same for, each player on this team. And, yeah, I mean, I think just at the end of the day, maybe those extra kind of motion, that extra energy, just, it being playoffs kind of helps give you an extra boost.
When a guy like Robo goes down, do you take it upon yourself to maybe have to step up even more so?
Yeah, I think it requires everyone to step up. Losing a guy like that, he's not a guy you can replace really with one guy. It's just kind of collective group thing of making those plays and help trying to fill in what he does so good. And so, yeah, I think for me and every forward that'll be in lineup and D as well. It's just kind of everyone to help pitch in and fill that that hole when he's not playing.
What have you seen from Mikko? Obviously, this is going to be a big series for him, but he also has incredible playoff numbers. I don't know, because of his size or just because of his experience, what is it that he can be a key player in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone sees how good he is and the player he is, and so that doesn't change anything come playoff time. And then I think yeah, I mean, he's just a guy that seems to rise when the pressure's on, and seems to always be making those plays. So it'll be awesome to have him on our side for this series rather than having to play against him. And yeah, I mean, obviously some connections back there for him, and so we want to win this one really bad.
What have you seen from Colorado and kind of the study time that you've had in preparation for this game?
Yeah, I mean, we know them really well. We've played them a lot of times in the last year and a half, past 2 years. I mean, obviously they have, they're great players. That can make you pay if you make mistakes and aren't playing smart. But I mean, overall, they're obviously a great team. Play really fast. Have a lot of players that can make some really high-end plays, and so make for a really fun series. I mean, we're an awesome team too, and we have a lot of great players too who can make plays and make them pay. So it's super exciting to go up against a divisional rival, and yeah, I mean, it's the best time of the year, so we're fired up.
Thank you, Wyatt.
Thank you. So how is today different? I mean, obviously, game one of the playoffs. As a goalie, do you prepare mentally differently? Or is it just another day?
Yeah, it just feels like a new season, first day of school. Everyone's there's like a buzz in the room, and everyone's, we worked for 8 months for this, so, we're, last year when the season ended, we were thinking about this moment now, so now we can change the outcome of what happened last year, and it's up to us now.
It's a weird thing when you work 8 months to maybe start a 2-month grind. How much better equipped are you guys, having made some runs in the past now, to understand what this is like?
Yeah, everyone in here should feel really confident. I mean, no matter who we play, I think, the experience we've gained, we know we've faced different things in these runs, down 2-0, stuff like that. So just, the guys in here have a strong belief about, that we can get far, and it starts tonight.
You're matching up against a goalie that doesn't have the playoff experience you have. How much does that matter this time of year?
Not at all, I don't think. I mean, so I'd never played playoffs before and had a pretty good run there. So just, I mean, he's a great goalie, and you know, hopefully we can make it hard on him. And I think you know, it's just going to be a great series.
What was that first run like for you, mentally, physically?
It's great. Yeah, just felt like I played my best hockey and want to get back to that level of just kind of playing free and feeling like I had nothing to lose. And you know, when it's all said and done, you want to just feel like you played your best hockey this time of year. So that's what I'm trying to do.
What's the challenge of playing Colorado? Obviously, they have a couple of superstars, but they seem a lot deeper this year too.
Yeah, just there's speed, skill. You know, can kill you if you make mistakes. So they're you know, a great challenge. Obviously, you know, pretty similar team that we played last year, and we know what we did well to knock them out. So same game plan, and you know, stay out of the box, try not to make any huge mistakes, and get some timely saves.
When's the last time you spoke with Wedgwood?
I just saw him out in morning skate, so I gave him the fingers. No, a couple weeks ago. So he's one of my favorite teammates. So I'll be friends off for the next 2 weeks. Yeah.
What do you think is the most underrated part of the playoffs?
Most underrated? Probably the towels. I love the towels. Makes it look great, and even like the morning skate with all the towels and stuff just makes it feel like a big game. So love those.
Thanks.